Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
My next guest picked up some hardware last week, getting it done over Chuck Campbell at Cage Warriors 148 on New Year's Eve. It's Modestas Bukauskas. Back here on the program. Modestas, how are you, man?
Yes, doing very well, thank you. Always a pleasure speaking to you, my man.
You as well. We had to do this big win. Can't let it slide. We got to acknowledge the greatness that win was. Has it sunk in yet? You're the champ. Again, I know this was something that you really wanted to seize with the opportunity. There were a couple days removed. How are you feeling about everything?
Yeah, no, I feel absolutely amazing. It was, the next step on my vision board was to become the champion. It was, the goal that I'd intended when I joined with Cage Warriors. And it's nice as well to kind of go down in history. I think with Dan Hardy and Nicholas Dalby, the only other two guys to vacate and then win the belt again, I believe. It feels, absolutely amazing, just as planned,
How did you feel going in? Because if you kind of looked at this optically, Chuck obviously had, it was a low risk fight for him in the sense that he only has 6 fights. You're the UFC veteran. You're the one that sort of needed to win this. Was the mentality any different going in, or were you pretty confident in your abilities going into the fight?
Yeah, I was extremely confident. The main thing that really pushed me in this fight was the fact that I know I'm supposed to be way better than this guy, so I need to go out and show it, Obviously, credit to Chuck. He's a very formidable opponent. He's got knockout power, so we couldn't exactly just go rushing in with a guy like that. But yeah, I knew that I should be like, I couldn't visualize anything else. I couldn't even think, even in my head, to even let it sink in that there was even a chance of me losing. I had to go in there and prove myself, and that's the mentality that I had going into that fight.
What, if anything, surprised you in the fight? Obviously, Chuck, a pretty durable guy. I know the finish was late in the fourth, but what did you take away from maybe something, that maybe you didn't anticipate in the fight?
Yeah, he moved pretty well, for a big guy and, for a lot older guy as well. He seemed to, because I'm always been known to be quite athletic and but he also had like quite a decent bit of athleticism, and he's quite, when I was in on the clinch, he was just quite heavy on his legs, so it made it harder to get in on the legs on him. So he moved really well. So I got to give him credit for that. I had to, throw out a couple of tricks. It took us about 3 rounds really to figure out exactly what we needed to do in order to put him away, which happened, like I say, like early in the 4th round.
So you get the victory, you get the title. How do you celebrate after a big win like that?
Mate, it was kind of like a bit of a weird one, to be honest with you. I finished the event, and then obviously I had to do my interviews, my medicals, all that kind of normal stuff that you have to do after the fight. And then I went outside and because you have like this slip to show that you're medically clear, and I had to give it to one of the people, and they had gone upstairs to the after party, and I'm literally out here with the belt half naked, going upstairs with a bunch of all these other people in the VIP party lounge or whatever, trying to find someone to sort out my medical slip. So weirdly enough, like a lot of time had actually passed, by the point of me winning to then doing all of that, and then I had a hotel booked. Me and a couple of my close people, we went to the hotel. There was a bar there, of course. We grabbed a couple of drinks, and obviously I was quite tired. I had a couple of drinks just to kind of perk my energies up. But then I look at my watch and I'm like, what the hell? How is it like 2 o'clock already? Like, this makes no sense. Like, it seemed like that walk took like an hour. Like, it was weird. And then obviously me and my dad were like really enjoying the moment. Like, we were literally just holding, kind of arm in arm, walking down the strip of where the O2 was. And then my friend was like, hey, listen, I think we need to my corner man Will, he was like, yo, let's go to like a club. And I was like, are you sure it's going to be open? But like, in my head, I was kind of thinking the same thing as him. I'm like, yeah, it's New Year's Eve, surely everything should be open right now. But then by the time we got into London, it was like 3 o'clock and nothing was open. So we ended up having to go all the way back to the hotel again. And it was like 5 o'clock, and then we had again just a couple of drinks, and then I went to sleep. It was literally, it was a bit of a, like, we thought we were going to have like some massive like party or whatever, and it ended up not being that. But I will definitely make sure I make up for those celebrations this weekend.
There you go. Exactly. Just postpone it a bit. How was it fighting on New Year's Eve? Did you like it?
I don't know. There's something quite David Goggins-esque about fighting on New Year's Eve and not doing the normal Christmas thing. You know, like everyone's like, oh, like we're doing our celebrations, we're eating loads of food and blah blah blah. And now, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Obviously, on Christmas Day, everything else was strict and like on point. But on Christmas Day, you know, I finished my run. I cooked the whole Christmas dinner myself. I had a little bit of help from my dad and my sister, but we cooked up all the I cooked up all the Christmas dinner. I only had like a quarter of it. I had the vegetables, the potatoes, and the turkey. And then later on, I checked my weight. I was like, oh, I'm doing all right. I had a little cheeky little glass of Bailey's and a piece of cake. And then in the morning, I actually weighed lighter than what I was the day before. So it all worked out. But yeah, it kind of it makes you feel like very, I don't know, it makes you feel like a little bit special, you know. It's like I'm doing something that's different to like what the conventional thing is to do on Christmas time. And it kind of made me feel like even more like kind of that moment of going into fighting in the cage meant a bigger deal for me, you know, just because, you know, you had to maybe sacrifice a little bit more in order to get to that point. And, you know, just separating yourself from the crowd, you know, I like to be different. And this was a way of, you know, portraying that even more, I guess.
That's cool. Yeah, no, what an experience getting to compete at that time. What's been the feedback like? You know, I've been on social media. Everyone's been, you know, I feel a lot of people are rooting for you, and to see you get that win and take home a title, I just saw nothing but positive feedback. What's that been like since the win?
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. It's been really nice to get you know, get a load of positive feedback from the fight. I haven't had too many haters, you know, writing messages, which has been obviously I've had the haters messages before in the past. Um, it was nice to feel recognized. It was nice to feel appreciated for my work in the cage because, you know, I look back on my career and I look at how I want my career to go. I want it to be memorable. I want people to see stuff that they're going to be like wowed by. You know, you want to go in and really put it all on the line. And that was another big thing for me going into this fight. I want to leave everything out there. I didn't want to leave no stone unturned sort of deal going in there. And I'd been wanting to do that and I never really got, you know, never really brought it out of me. And here I definitely think I did. And it was nice to have everyone, you know, to just see so much support. It's very nice because obviously I had a very dark time, you know, just a year ago, where everyone kind of turned their back on me, you know, people thinking that I'm finished, that I'm done. And now, you know, so I know it's a little bit fickle, but at the same time, it's obviously, you know, the people that are close to you and that they've been supporting you since day one. I know you've been supporting me since day one, James. And like I said, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. It means a lot for me to finally be able to also give back to my fans and support, you know, the people that have been staying close to me. You know, we did it, guys, and we're only going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, and it's so much more. You appreciate things so much more when you do go through those hard times. Like I can only imagine what you must be feeling here. You know, January 2023 compared to January 2022, and there's a lot of uncertainty and everything. And honestly, I don't think your year could have gone any better. You know, getting 2 wins, getting a title, you got to be really really happy about that. So I think the question a lot of people want to know, and I'm going to ask it here. Is there any update from the UFC? I know, again, you had a tough run, you know, going out there and everything. You had the injury. But anytime you win hardware, especially with Cage Warriors, because there's that, you know, sort of direct line to the UFC, has there been any update about them potentially bringing you back?
I mean, listen, I know that, and you know, whether if there's ever like a spot that opens up, I know that I should be the first guy on the list there. That's what I've been, you know, that's what's been hinted to me, you know. So I don't think there's anything set in stone as of right now. I'm ready for whatever comes next, but I've said it before. I said it straight after the fight. I do believe I'm UFC ready. I have been before. I just haven't really. I didn't really pull the, you know, like I said, I didn't really pull the trigger. I didn't really express myself the way that I should have done. And I feel like I'm on the right track to doing so. And I'm definitely going to, you know, I'm definitely going to do the right things, like in terms of my training. I know what I need to do. I know I'm UFC ready. So, you know, whenever they want to call me, you know, I'm ready to go. That's why, you know, I'm already getting back into training. You know, tomorrow, day after that, I'm back into like my normal routine because I just want to get back in there again. But whatever the future holds for me, I'll be ready for, you know. So
Yeah.
I do believe I'm UFC ready, but if, you know, if I do have to defend my belt one more time, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, more experience in the cage, more time in there. But I know the ultimate end goal and the thing that will happen is I will be back there. So It's just a matter of when. And like I say, I'm up for the roller coaster and the journey that is ahead of me.
Yeah, it's about the journey, not necessarily the finish line. You gotta enjoy every little bit of it, the good and the bad times. And you're in a great position. Like I said, you're the champ, so they have to give you fights, right? It's not gonna be a case of where, it's gonna be tough to find opponents because you are the champ. There's gonna be people coming for you. And then, like I said, obviously the UFC, I'm sure they have to have you on their radar. They got the London card coming up too. So a lot of interesting things in the works. Who do you think could be next if you do have to defend that title for those in North America who might not be familiar with Cage Warriors as much as most people? Is there any contender that stands out for the belt?
Really, no. I know this sounds like mad. Like, I haven't even really I was kind of thinking about. I was just kind of sitting there with my dad. Like, we're thinking, well, who's the next opponent? I'm thinking, even for Christian Duncan, they had to bring guys from Europe that we hadn't. They're not really on the roster, or same like what they did for me before. They had to bring Martin Hamlet from Norway. They had to bring Nasilia from Italy. So it'll be a case of, there'll be like a top guy probably in Europe somewhere that will want to fight, and obviously they'll bring him over here. So, but for me, in terms of who do we have right now in the roster that I know 100% is the next thing down the line, I really don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's a case of, Ian Dean working his magic again,
Yeah, no, for sure. Shout out to Ian, by the way, one of the best guys in this industry for sure. What is the plan for the rest of the week? I know, again, you had the title fight coming up. I'm sure you neglected a few things. Is there anything you're looking forward to this week, whether it's a nice meal or you said you're going to celebrate this week? What do you have planned?
Yeah, so I mean, I went to jiu-jitsu today. I did a bit of a bodybuilding workout. I mean, I swear to God though, mate, like I thought MMA was hard. You do some of these bodybuilding workouts, I was like, I can barely feel my arms. Like I could barely even lift them up right now. But so look, tomorrow I'll be back to training. I'll be training twice, training with my training partner Will Curry. I'll be going to do jiu-jitsu with Aria at Pure Jiu-Jitsu. Really phenomenal. The guy that I trained with today, actually. So yeah, twice a day then, doing my clients. Friday, same thing. Saturday, I'll train. But Friday night, after all the training's done, I'm gonna go and see one of my very close friends, who's been supporting me from day one. I've actually, for those of you that don't know, I do have a documentary out on YouTube. It's actually called The Comeback King. It's on my YouTube channel, and it basically shows everything, the lead up to this fight, and it looks absolutely amazing. It almost looks like I was Mystic Mac writing it on my board, and then it bloody happens. Like, it's weird. It's crazy. It's good though. But there's a guy in a segment in that video that I was on the phone to, and I'd said, like, bro, I'm going to stop being a shit friend. Like, I'm going to come see you. And he goes, oh, no, it's all right. I don't want to see you anyways. Like, as a joke anyways. But that part was in there. So I'm going to see that friend. I'm going to go and have dinner with him finally. And then obviously I'm gonna go and have a good time with my friend Will as well. So I've got a couple of things lined up, but yeah, that will be like my only real, kind of let your hair down sort of moment. I've had already 3 days of eating all sorts of junk. You have no idea. I already, like, people look at me, they're like, you look fine, because obviously I've got the athletic build, but I feel chubby, man. Like, even just me sitting here, I just feel like a sloth. So tomorrow, it'll be back to like everything as normal, so that's going to feel really good. And obviously I've got to be looking good for when I go out as well. So I've got to make sure I'm on point. And yeah, I've got to be ready for, look, if there's any last minute opportunities, man, you've got to be good to go. So that's why I'm just ready to get straight back in there. So one night of celebration, and we're back in properly.
Back to business, as they say. Is there an ideal time you'd like to fight? Like, if, let's say it was UFC or whatever, doesn't matter. Is there sort of an ideal time you'd want to have, off from the last fight? Because you don't want to overdo it as well, right?
Yeah, I guess so. But mate, I love this. I love this so much.
You can say shit on here. So I'm Canadian,
yeah,
but you can swear. It's all good.
I think I've sworn earlier, but sometimes sometimes I don't even realize that I'm saying it, and then afterwards I'm like, maybe. Do you know what I mean? I want to seem like I'm the sophisticated lad that I put out into the world. But anyways, So I think March probably seems like a good time, obviously, to fight, if you're talking about, maybe working on a couple of things and this and that. But bro, like, if they gave me 1 or 2 weeks notice anywhere in the world, like, I will be ready to go. My cardio is still good. I didn't get any injuries. Like I say, I'm back into training already. Ideally you could say March, but if you're talking like I'll be ready whenever, you know. I'm always training, and by the end of this week, my weight will be back to normal. So yeah, man, like I feel like the moments that I have to rest and chill, I enjoy it to the fullest extent, so that I don't need like an extended period of time to just, do you know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
kind of I like training camp. People say, oh, I like the stresses of camp. I love, you know, I like stuff that's difficult as well. You know, it like kind of adds meaning to my life, you know, and also the whole comeback story in itself. Like, you know, the story is now slowly being written again, but again, we're by no means done. Like, I'm just ready to, like I say, jump in, work on the things that I need to work on, and yeah, and just fight. You know, get out there and put on the performances for the crowd. You know, after a performance like that, you just want to get another one. So I'll be ready for whatever, mate. I'm, like I said, back into training, ready to go.
We're looking forward to what's next. Modestas, again, congratulations on the win. It was really awesome to see. If there's anyone you'd like to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, so as I've mentioned with that documentary, the guy who actually did that video, I've got to give him a massive shout out. His name's Ben. He's from France. Believe it or not, he messaged me on Instagram and said, "Yo, can I, like, you know, do like your comeback video and stuff like that?" And you know, he came all the way from France to my house, lived with me for a week, done all the recording, went back, and like he made an amazing video. So that is on YouTube right now, Modestas Bukauskas. It's on my personal YouTube channel. He's done an incredible job. 21 years old this kid is, and it looks like a freaking, you know, like a Paramount Pictures movie. Like, I've seen it myself. He's done a really good job, so I've got to give him a lot of credit. Obviously, I've got a thank you to BST Academy, Danny Batten, my dad, obviously big man, big boss, Will Curry, another big help. Hodger Grace's Academy, Aria Estefanmes, Legion Grappling as well, helping a lot with the wrestling. And sponsors like Fight Shop UK, Distinct Physiotherapy, Iridium Sports Agency. Got to give them a massive shout out. Jason, you know, Jacob, Simon, you know, all of them, you know, from getting my shorts done to, you know, obviously getting the fights, getting me the world title fight, sorting everything out, making sure I've got no stresses all the time. Absolutely amazing guys. And yeah, they're just people that have been helping me out. You know, they know who they are, like people getting me my hotel room for the fight and stuff like that, people sponsoring me there. So yeah, like I say, always a strong stable of people helping me out, always making me achieve the highest in everything that I do. Oh, and also shout out to Denison Sutherland. Sorry, he's been sponsoring me since before the injury, since day one, like literally since day one, and he's also been a really good training partner. So I've got to give him a massive shout out as well. And I'm sorry if I forgot anyone else, but listen, I love you all, and we're gonna make it to the top together.